third surgery since the 4th of July. You know, and he's going to have another one in 6 to 8 weeks, and he's going to have all this therapy, and he's got skin grafts, and, you know, he's got all this stuff going on. You know, and then my grandma's affected, and, you know, that is just too much for me. Like, that alone was too much, and then it's like, whatever. Like, and then, you know, I have my northern best friend. I feel like I felt some type of way about how, okay, so I came up there, I didn't have any set plans aside from being with my grandma the 30th to the 4th. And she knew that. And she's like, oh, well, I planned a trip to Colorado, and she had went back to work because she was working at home for a long time. So my first stop was going to be her house, with the assumption that she still was going to be working from home. But Chicago opened up the week before I went, so they ended up pulling her back to work. And I made it to Chicago like 8:30 in the morning. So what am I supposed to do? Sit outside of your apartment until you get home at 6 o'clock? Like, that's crazy. So I ended up just going to my sister's. And I went over there and I slept for a little while because, you know, I drove up through the night. And so she sent me a message when she got off, like, oh, you know, what's the plan? I said, well, you know, I'm on my way to my grandma's house. And I had already passed Chicago at that point. Like, I was like 30 minutes from my grandma. And she was like, oh, well, I thought you were going to come over here. And I was like, well, you know, we had talked about her just coming over to my grandma's house, and we would play games and, you know, hang out over there. And she's like, well, I just really don't feel like being around people, and I kind of thought it was just going to be me and you, honestly. And I was like, I brought my kids. When was it ever going to just be me and you? What am I supposed to do? Put them on the side of the street until I'm ready to come back? You know, I said, I'm here because my grandma needed me here. She needed me to go and help her with a few things, you know. But my main concern for going up there was to go and see my grandma. And she's like, well, I said, if you just want it to be me and you, I said, you got to come to Georgia. And I said, you know that. I said, anytime I come up to Illinois, I'm never alone. So I said, I'm not sure why you really thought that, but okay. She's like, well, and I said, well, just plan a trip. And I said, I'll get you a ticket to come down. She's like, well, I got a lot of vacations booked. I said, okay, well, obviously you weren't too concerned about spending time with me because none of those were for Georgia. And I said, that's fine. But, like, the simple fact that, like, I understand we're on two different pages. We live two completely different lives. Like, I'm a mother who works full-time. I go to college. And she's got her OnlyFans page. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't help the fact that we live two completely different lives. And yes, we've kind of grown apart. Like, when you need attention and when you're hurting and when you're down and when you're this and when you're that, you go to social media as an outlet and seek attention from people online. I don't put none of my business on the internet. Like, nobody knows, you know, when me and Raphael are having problems, or me and my mom, nobody knows, you know, if my depression is back. Nobody knows it, nothing. Like, I don't go to social media as an outlet to vent about personal things. Like, go and see a therapist. Like, if it's that bad, go and see a therapist. But she's one of those, like, anti-therapist, super feminist people. And I'm like, so I think I'm just going to have to let that go. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't know why you thought it was acceptable to even say something like that to me. And you know how close I am, you know, with my family. And, you know, I was going up there to see my family because I told you I was coming up there to see my family. And I invited you over to my grandma's house. Like, that's how I was going to see you. And you made these other plans in your head that you never discussed with me. So I don't know what you want me to do about that. And I told you, I said, I don't have any set plans after this. And she's like, well, I'm about to go to Colorado. I said, that's fine. I said, what day will you be back? She's like, oh, I'll be back on the 4th. I said, well, I'm here till the 7th. Let me know, and, you know, we can at least do dinner or something. And she never reached back out to me. So I'm not about to sit here and chase you. Like, I already got to take care of 2 kids in Watson. Like, I'm too grown to be chasing after grown people. Like, you want to have people who chase you and who coddle you and do all that, that's fine. I understand you have, you know, issues because you didn't have the best parents. I get it, but I'm not your parent. There's nothing I can do about that. You know, I've let you live with me while we were in high school. We lived together. We had a job at the mall together. Like, we've been through a lot together. I get it. It's not easy to let go, but at the same time, like, if I don't reach out to her, we don't talk. Like, she doesn't reach out to me. Like, she doesn't comment on any of my posts. She doesn't do any of that. And like, it's become a one-way, you know, friendship. Which, honestly, I'm okay with letting go, because I just feel like we're just not the same people that we were back then. We just don't click anymore. You know, like, I don't have patience for